Saturday, April 20th, 2019, we left for Kaelin's Sweet 16 cruise, 7-day cruise on Carnival to Mexico.
Finally arrived, she jumped in the window, and then we went up to the Lido Court for lunch. Gordon studied the program to see what good activities we'd have, and then of course you have to go for boat drill. After the emergency drill, it's time to explore the ship and join the sail away party with line dancing. Even the Dr. Seuss characters got in on the act.
After the sail away party, we went up and Diane always blows bubbles.
And silly pictures are always fun too. Of course, the next thing was dinner with our new companions and some more exploring of the ship for that night.
Then it was time for our wake-up coffee and hot chocolate to get to our room, and then we went off for a nice, wonderful brunch. And when we came home, our bears had a new friend. The next day was Easter Sunday, and we went to the Easter Sunday service.
After service, it was time to just unwind and relax, so the girls went down to the hot tubs and Papa went and explored the ship some more. Then we had to dress for formal night.
We went down and got our professional photos done, and man, they turned out beautiful.
We walked all over looking for golden photo opportunities, and several good sites presented themselves.
One of the places we took a lot of pictures were the piano bar. And here's my two beautiful ladies there. Then Kaelin had fun twirling her dress. She sure is a beautiful girl.
We headed for our dining room, and when you're waiting, there's classical music in the piazza. We were seated with a couple that had a 16-year-old son named Neil. Dancing is part of the culture on ships at dinner too.
Sweet 16 on the first formal night.
Happy birthday, dear Kaelin. Happy birthday to you.
Neil dubbed Kaelin the princess because she wore a crown for her birthday, and the name stuck for the whole trip. After dinner, we all went our separate ways to our own entertainment.
The next morning, Kaelin and I got up with our coffee and our hot chocolate and started walking the ship, and lo and behold, there's Neil. Neil became her stalker, and it became a game of let's see if we can ditch Neil. I'm just kind of kidding. Here we are getting close to Cabo San Lucas, and there's our little boat that's going to take us to shore. Diane and Kaelin were going snorkeling. I don't like cold water like it was, and so I actually had my longest day on my Fitbit. I put on 25,000 steps waiting for them while they were snorkeling.
We found a little glass-bottom boat to take us out to the beach where you go snorkeling. It's called Lover's Beach. And the water was 72 degrees, which was decent, a little bit on the chilly side. But we got in, it was clear, and Kaelin was absolutely enthralled with the fish and being able to see yourself through the water. You can see just how easy it is to see right to the bottom. We had a blast. There was some really cool rocks that she climbed and posed for various pictures. The sand was pretty hot up here, and then we ran over to the Pacific side and put our toes in the water there, and then again coming back to the boat.
Did a little shopping, then headed back to the ship. Next day we were in Matzatlan and we went on the Blue Line walking tour. We had a great time.
And we saw native dancers.
You heard of a caterpillar turning into a butterfly? Well, Kaelin turned into a butterfly too.
The Catholic Cathedral, and it was quite an amazing piece of art, just so ornate and intricate. It's hard to imagine the labor of love that was represented when it was built.
Also, what it would cost to build it today. I mean, this place was gigantic, and it just had so much gold leaf and stained glass windows. It was really pretty.
Next stop was the public marketplace, which was just a barterer's dream. We had a great time looking at everything. Even all the fresh produce and the fish stands and everything were fun and entertaining. And then it was time to take the pedicab back to the ship.
On the way back to the ship, we ran into Senior Frog. And of course they had the welcome home sign up for us, and when we got back to our room there was a new animal on Kaelin's bed.
We had lunch at the noodle station and then cruised around the ship taking pictures of Matzatlan from the outdoor deck areas. It's a very picturesque port.
This is the Regal Princess, which was also in Matzatlan at the same time. Actually, they followed us all the way from Long Beach. This was its maiden voyage. It's a brand new ship, and this is its first time to cruise into Mexico. This next picture is Kaelin eating her first escargot. Ugh!
Dancing at dinner was followed by a beautiful sunset, and then of course we spent some time down in the piazza listening to our favorite 8-piece band. In beautiful Puerto Vallerta, and there were 3 cruise ships in the terminal simultaneously. Crazy busy, the towns were full. We stopped at Walmart and then picked up a cab and went down to the beautiful Malecón Beach area of Puerto Vallarta.
It was quite the tourist attraction. All kinds of crazy sculptures. I mean, there's this one guy that's doing these sand sculptures that are coming up, and these people that were hanging from ropes and all kinds of neat stuff. Here we are posing with all these neat statues. I mean, they were from one end of the beach to the other. I mean, you couldn't even count them all. Then we ran into Senior Frog, and once Senior Frog got a hold of Kaelin, like, he didn't want to let her go. He was just following her and grabbing her all over the place. And Kaelin had been such a good girl, she won her wings. gold wings besides the fact. Then we went and looked at the little mission there. What a difference. This one is really tiny but pretty.
We headed back to the ship and it was absolutely uncanny, but who shows up in line to get on at the same time? Neil. But it was cool because we waved off his folks and they could go back on land for a beer for a little while, and he got to hang with us.
Now we're heading home. We had 2 sea days to get home. And here is Diane and Kaelin in their matching, not so matching Cabo San Lucas shirts. We had lunch that day with our friend Sarah, and then when we got back to our room, all the animals that they made were all over the place having a party, just tearing the room apart. Then we got all prettied up for our next to the last formal night dinner. The next morning when we got up, the crew had made all these towel animals and they were all over the swimming pool deck. I mean, it was totally amazing. There were just hundreds and hundreds of them. And then that day at lunch, they had chocolate dessert day. I mean, these cakes and stuff were just fantastic. Then it was out on deck with some music. Diane wanted to spend some time in the spa. She loves the spa on the ship. Then it was time for our last night's dinner. Baked Alaska, lobster, all that good stuff.
Papa invited Kaelin and her friends to join us that evening down in the foyer or piazza area for drinks. Shirley Temples, of course.
And then came the fun. It was balloon drop time. Time to kick up our heels and have just a bunch of fun.
Everybody, I want to hear you louder than I've heard you all through, so you've been loud. If you don't know the words, it's ba-ba-ba. Hands
up! A truly memorable time was had by all on Kaelin's Sweet 16 Mexican cruise.